Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs for the week, and we start with a question on the recent war between the Israelis and the Iranians. Now, of course, America came in, and this question is about the American operation that happened, against the Iranian nuclear sites. But before this, remember the war started sometime on June 13th, and it lasted for 12 days. The, this is when this is also being called these days the 12-day war. Now, why this particular thing? 12-day war is symptomatic of, or it reminiscent of the 6-day war that happened in 1967 between Israel and a Muslim alliance. This alliance included countries like Syria, Jordan, and of course Egypt. But in that war, 6-day war, not only did Israel defeat the Muslim alliance, it took away territories. It actually occupied territories belonging to the Muslim world. Like it occupied the Sinai Peninsula belonging to Egypt. It occupied the Golan Heights from Syria, and of course, it took back West Bank, which was under Jordanian occupation. So, between 1948 and 1967, West Bank, which is a Palestinian territory, was under Jordanian occupation. So, it took West Bank from Jordan, and it also took Gaza from Egypt in 1967. Like 1948, when the war happened, the Israeli, first Arab Muslim Israel war, West Bank was occupied by Jordan and Egypt occupied Gaza. So, in 1967, it took back all these places. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is about the American attack on Israel, Iranian nuclear sites. These are the three major nuclear sites: Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. The thing here is, you please appreciate the fact that this was a major operation by the Americans, because for the very first time they used GBU 57, which is Guide Bomb Unit, also called Massive Ordnance Penetrator. This is a 14,000 kg bomb. What do you say? 14,000 kg bomb. So, America dropped bunker buster GBU 57 bombs here on this side, and this is there deep inside the nuclear facilities. They dropped this, and it is believed. There is no confirmation, because this is all, please understand, in the realm of speculation. All these nuclear facilities have been devastated. Now, of course, there are various opinions, different opinions from different sources, depending on who you trust. If you would believe the Iranians, they would say that okay, there have been destruction, but we moved away the uranium even before the Americans struck that place. But where did they take it? Yeah, that's the question. And if they had taken it, all that would be required for them to enrich the uranium would be a lot of centrifuges, but all the centrifuges were here and they have been destroyed. Okay. So, the Americans say that, well, we have set back their nuclear program by about 2 years. Again, this is a matter of speculation. Okay. But let's go with what the aggressor here in this case believes. Okay. So, this was a bomb, bunker buster bomb, Guide Bomb Unit, Massive Ordnance penetrator or penetration, 14,000 kg bomb. And they how did they launch it? They sent 125 aircraft. This entire operation by the Americans involved 125 aircraft. These aircraft, some of these were B-52 bombers, B-52. Okay. They started off from America, Missouri in America, and some of them went over the Pacific, which was a kind of a decoy. Some went over the Pacific, some came towards east, where Iran is, of course. Now, it took the the bombers 18 hours, and they came in, they bombed these places sometime between 1 and 3 a.m. when the Iranians were not exactly sleeping, but they were caught unawares, because most of their aircraft interceptors, missile interceptors had already been destroyed by Israel. Plus, the Americans had used stealth aircraft, pure stealth aircraft. And this is the very first time they have used these bombs. The rest are not important for you guys. This is one of my favorite areas in the world to discuss. But, like in 1991, there was this military operation against Iraq that was called Desert Storm. Desert Storm. So, a lot of things here. The American war on freedom, American war against global war on terror that started in October 2001, right after the September 11 attacks, was called Operation Enduring Freedom. Okay, urgent fury against military takeover in Grenada, which is a tiny place in the Caribbean Sea. Okay, not really important for you guys, but this is important. Okay, let's go to the next one, please. And those of you who are not greatly familiar with Iran, ladies and gentlemen, Iran, I'll write here in red, it will be that much more visible. Its capital is Tehran, okay. Its president is a guy called Masoud Pezeshkian. Okay. And its currency is Riyal. People also call it Toman. You can also call it Toman, T-O-M-A-N. Well, it's a pretty large country, guys. It's what? 16.48 lakh square kilometers. That is 50% of India's area. 50% of India's area. And the thing here is, its population is 9 crore. Take 10 crores or little over 9 crores. You know what? Israel has an area of 20,770 square kilometers. This is Israel, okay? Now, its population is 98 lakh. Take 1 crore. Compare Iran with Israel. You will understand where Israel is and where Iran is. Okay? There are a lot of differences, isn't it? Yeah. So, let's go past this, because this is a class where we focus only on the facts and not the analysis part. I'll take you to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, a question again, we'll stay there in that area. The Iranian parliament has voted to block the Strait of Hormuz, following the US strikes on its nuclear sites. The Strait of Hormuz, this is the Strait of Hormuz, okay? What is a strait? A strait is a narrow channel of water. Let me repeat, a narrow channel of water that separates two land bodies. Here, the Iranian land and this particular portion, which comprises, you see this peninsular portion, this is the United Arab Emirates, and this portion you can see here belongs to Oman, okay? This is Oman. This is Oman, fair? Now, this is Iranian territory, and this is UAE and Emirati and Oman territory. Now, why is this important? So, let me tell you something more. To repeat, a strait is a narrow channel of water that separates two land bodies. Okay, like between India and Sri Lanka, you have the Pak Strait. You have the Pak Strait. That's about it. Nothing extraordinary in understanding these things. Now, this is a very important choke point. It's called a choke point. In international language, basically international affairs language, it's called a choke point. If one territory which is in control of it blocks it, it kind of turns into a choke point. Okay. So, this is 167 kilometer long, 167 kilometer long. Okay. And it's at its widest, it's about 97 kilometers. Widest 97, narrowest 39 kilometers. So, narrowest point is 39 kilometers, widest point is 97 kilometers, total length of the strait is 167 kilometers, 167 kilometers. Now, nearly 20% of global natural gas flows through this, 20%. Most of this natural gas belongs to Qatar, okay, and about 25% of global oil moves through this place. Iraq is a major producer of oil, so is Iran, but Iran has sanctions, so it cannot sell much. Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar. Bahrain is a small producer, but a lot of this Saudi Arabian oil, Kuwaiti oil, Iraqi oil moves through this. So you have to understand that while they said that we are going to close this, it's not likely to. These things don't happen. Iran doesn't have the muscle to enforce a closure. You understand that? Yeah. So for all their bragging, they are in a pretty bad shape, my friends. Okay. So remember this Malacca Strait and Sunda Strait. Okay, Sunda Strait is between the Indonesian islands. There are two Indonesian islands, and one is called Java, the other is called Sumatra. So between these two islands, you find a narrow channel of water that's called Sunda Strait. What is it called? Sunda Strait. Malacca is very important. It's between, if you look at, I'm just taking a rough image, my friends, nothing extraordinary here. Okay. This is Singapore at the bottom. Now this is, Sumatra, Java. So these are Andaman Nicobar Islands here. Now the waters, you see this narrow channel of water here. This is the Malacca Strait. So between, this is Malaysia, Thailand here. Okay. At the tip of the Malaysian Peninsula, you would find Singapore. So Malacca Strait could be found between Sumatra, the island of Sumatra, and Malaysia. Okay, it's one of the world's. It's a choke point. It's a major area. Where I love discussing, things with maps, because maps help us understand things better. Okay, there's another map here. Which country's parliament voted in favor of the terminally ill? What is it? Adults? Yeah, terminally ill adults end of life bill, allowing terminally ill patients to request assistance to end their life. This is what is called assisted suicide or passive euthanasia. Okay, so this map would tell you where is euthanasia allowed. Euthanasia, my friends, is remember, euthanasia is mercy killing, a kind of mercy killing. EU means good. Thanos is death. So euthanasia is a good death. Someone does not want to suffer. They are afflicted with a terminal disease. There is no treatment, and they are in great suffering. So they may ask, their doctors for euthanasia. But legal, illegal is dependent on where you are. Like for example, you see this dark blue here. Yeah. What are the dark blue countries? Ecuador. This is Ecuador. Okay. Ecuador. This is Colombia. You see this here, Canada. This is, Portugal, and here Spain. There are two countries here, Denmark, this country is Netherlands, Belgium, okay, Belgium, Netherlands and Belgium, I am just writing here. And what about this? This is New Zealand here, New Zealand. Within Australia, one territory does not allow for mercy killing. This is the Northern Territory. So most of Australia allows for euthanasia. It's legal. Euthanasia is legal in these places. Now you see this aqua blue colors here. Okay, India is in aqua blue. Passive euthanasia is allowed. It's legal. The Supreme Court of India has allowed for passive euthanasia. So how do we define passive euthanasia? Passive euthanasia can be understood in two ways. One, withdrawal of treatment. No treatment is provided to the patient if they are in great suffering. Okay, so withdrawal of treatment would mean, the person would not have access to treatment to get better, which means, of course, they are already terminally ill. So that is withdrawal of medical treatment to withdrawal of life support. Withdrawal of life support. So refusal of treatment, medical treatment, and to withdrawal of life support. So this is allowed in India. please know this. Okay, you see this in aqua blue colors. America, most of South America, some countries in Africa, Nigeria here, Ethiopia, Zambia, and what is this? Angola, South America, South Africa. There is Thailand, South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong here, India, yeah, UAE. What is this? Israel here. They all allow this. They all allow this. Of course, almost the whole of Europe with Kazakhstan. This is Kazakhstan, Turkey, what is this? Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia. All these countries allow passive euthanasia. Now, countries in grey, you see this here, grey, there is no regulation. No active, no passive euthanasia is regulated. There is no law on this. Okay, so this is a grey area, that's why it's grey. Now, you see this red here, let me clear this. So, you find that, there is one country here, Belize here, Russia, whole of Russia. Then there is a country called Belarus here, Kenya here. Yeah, anything else that I see red? Yeah, almost none, that's about it. In these countries, euthanasia is illegal. Euthanasia is illegal. It's not allowed. Yeah. So that's the idea, my friends. I hope you understood the map. Isn't it a fabulous thing to understand things through maps? It is. Otherwise, see, if I would normally tell you, okay, this is how the world works and everything, things don't go into the brain very fast. A map could help us understand things much, in a much clear way. Let's get to the next one. What is this? The Indian Navy will commission its latest multi-role frigate on July 1st at Kaliningrad. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is, I'll use white because we have been using red on certain backgrounds. So, this is a frigate in the Talwar class. What is it? Talwar class. So, we are going to have 8 of these ships, Talwar class ships. 5 are mentioned here. 5 are mentioned. What is not mentioned? 3 more. One is Talwar itself. Okay. So, let's call it 6. 7 would be, what is it? Tarkash is mentioned? No, Tarkash. And I think 8 is Tabar. Tabar. Okay. 2 more. Okay. Now, as of now, there are 8 in operation. 2 more, 9 and 10. 9 would be Triput and 10 would be Tavasya. These ships will be made in India. Now, these 8 have been made in Russia. This particular ship, INS Tamal, is the 51st ship that Russia has built for India in the last 65 years. But we believe, the government of India says that this will be the last ever ship that India will buy from outside, from foreign source. We are going to have everything made in India. So, these Triput and Tavasya will be made in India. That's a good thing, isn't it? Yeah, not relying on the world outside. So, all these 10 Talwar class ships have come, my friends. Okay, let's go to the next one. World Rainforest Day is observed annually on June 22nd to raise awareness about the critical importance of rainforest and why we need to, save them. June 22nd, see, if you can remember like this, March 22nd, World Water Day, April 22nd, Earth Day, June 22nd, Rainforest Day. Now, look at the choices. June 20th is World Refugee Day. World Refugee Day. Okay. June 21st, you all know, is the International Yoga Day. June 22nd is here. So, 21st is Yoga Day. 23rd, what could it be? It is the International Olympic Day. International Olympic Day. On this day in 1894, the International Olympic Committee was more or less set up, had its first meeting. Consequently, June 23rd is International Olympics Day. June 25th, current government is observing as Samvidhan Hatya Divas. Okay. There are two things on June 25th. One, India won the Cricket World Cup in 1983. Its first ever World Cup title in 1983 on June 23rd. But on June 23rd, 1971, emergency was declared in India. National emergency was declared on grounds of internal threat to India's territorial security. This was Prime Minister Indira Gandhi who declared it, and it lasted for 21 months. 21 months, and June 1971, it ended on 21st March. 21st March 1977. So 21 months the emergency lasted. Okay, I think that's enough, my friends, about these important days and all. Let me go to the next one. Sivasubramaniam Raman has formally assumed the charge as the chairperson of PFRDA, which is Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. Okay, PFRDA. This manages the pension sector in India, including the National Pension Scheme (NPS). SEBI is Securities and Exchange Board of India. We'll take a couple of choices here. Securities and Exchange Board of India is headed by Tuhin Kanta Pandey. Tuhin Kanta Pandey. Currently, it has no chairperson. There is no head. The office of the chairperson is vacant. Try Anil Kumar Lahoti. Anil Kumar Lahoti. NABARD, National Bank for National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, is headed by Shaji KV. That's how he writes his name, so we'll go with that. Shaji KV. Okay. Earlier, this Sivasubramanian Raman headed SIDBI, I think. Yeah. How many Indian startups working on cutting edge technologies have made it to the World Economic Forum's prestigious list of 100 emerging companies for 2025? 10 have made it. I normally don't discuss these questions, as you would know, because unless we have the names and all, what are they working on, things really don't work. Now, the thing here is the World Economic Forum comes up with these kinds of lists every year, and some are cutting edge, some are not so cutting edge. Okay. The ICMR, which is the Indian Council for Medical Research, has a lot of units, my friends, a lot of units. Like, for example, this one, National Institute of Immunohematology. Hematology is a study of blood and all that. Hemat is related to blood, iron basically, okay, blood. So, this is headquartered in Mumbai. Has launched India's first national rare blood registry in Mumbai, because that is where the head office is. Now, two things here. One, which is the rarest blood group in the world? AB negative. AB negative is the rarest blood group, my friends. AB negative. Second thing, ICMR is headed by Dr. Rajiv Bahal. Dr. Rajiv Bahal. Okay. See, ICMR also has this in Hyderabad, National Institute of Nutrition. National Institute of Nutrition. It's about 2 kilometers from where I am standing now. Let's go to the next one. India will conduct its first full-scale household income distribution survey in 2026, overseen by a newly formed technical expert group chaired by Surjit Bhalla. This Surjit Bhalla, my friends, is a world-renowned economist, and he had been, he has worked on a lot of committees of the World Bank and the IMF. He is also a member of the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister of India, PMEAC, Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister of India. And all these, my friends, are going to be the members of the same committee. income distribution and all that. See, there is a great deal of inequality in India and of course around the world. But it's more pronounced in a country like ours because not everybody has an equal chance and equal access to resources to resource to resources that could help them earn better and live a better quality of life. Okay. So, this kind of inequalities become more pronounced, more obvious in countries like India. Frederick Smith, who passed away recently, was the founder of, this is Frederick Smith. He started one of the world's most iconic companies, Federal Express. It was called Federal Express, it became FedEx. He started FedEx. Okay. FedEx, my friends, is the head office is in a place called Memphis in Tennessee, the American state of Tennessee. And current chairman is Raj Subramaniam. Raj Subramaniam. Yeah, Raj Subramaniam. One more company we can look at is UPS, United Parcel Service. This is the world's largest supply chain logistics, what you call courier company, United Parcel Service. It's headquartered in a place called Sandy Spring. Sandy Spring in the American state of, what is this place? Georgia. It's in Georgia. Okay, and its CEO is this much accomplished lady, Carol Tome. Okay. Oracle, we'll just look at the CEOs, Safra Catz. Amazon, Andy Jassy, Andy Jassy, Jassy. Microsoft, as you all know, is Satyanarayana Nadella. Okay. Meet Janhavi. This is Nangedi Janhavi. She's become the first ever Indian who is going to go into orbital space flight in 2029 after having, gone through NASA's International Air and Space Program. You understand this? Yeah. She is an engineer and she studied in an Indian university, did her electronics and communications engineering, and in 2029 she is going to go up as an astronaut candidate for a company called, I think it's called Titan Space. So, she will go there in an orbital flight, not a full-fledged flight, an orbital flight just outside the Earth, yeah, and she will go around for 5 hours. She is just 23 years old, my friends. Look, people are working very hard to achieve their dreams. Which is the third state after Mizoram and Goa to become a full functional literacy state, surpassing the 95% benchmark set up by the Ministry of Education. The Minister of Education is Dharmendra Pradhan. So, let's look at this. Fully functional is this particular thing is targeted under a scheme called ULLAS, ULLAS. Under this scheme called ULLAS, the Government of India, the Ministry of Education is focusing on those people who are aged 15 and above, but who have not had any sort of formal education training, formal learning training. So, consequently, people can't read and all that, now Government of India is focusing on them. So, first Mizoram, then Goa, now Tripura. Tripura has a literacy rate of about 95.3%, my friends. Okay. You know who's the CM of Tripura? Dr. Manik Saha, S-A-H-A, Manik Saha. Who has created history by becoming the first ever Indian to visit the International Space Station. Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla, who was a pilot aboard the Axiom 4 spacecraft. Okay. and these are four astronauts, and one of them was our Subhanshu Shukla, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla, and he was the pilot on the aircraft, on the spacecraft. And this the commander of the flight was entire flight, the mission commander is Peggy Whitson. Peggy Whitson. That's about it. See, this is the second Indian space traveler. The first was we are talking of Indian citizens. Okay, the first was Rakesh Sharma, who went up in 1984. 1984. India has refused to sign a joint declaration at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's meeting of defense ministers. This was held in Qingdao, China. Yeah. Now, this you can see the Indian boundaries are not the original boundaries here. The part of Pakistan which is shown here is not, it's ours, my friends. It is not Pakistan's. Please know this. Okay, it's not Pakistan's, it's ours. So Pakistan has occupied, some portion of Kashmir. There are, how much, do you know this? 87,000 square kilometers of Indian territory has been occupied by Pakistan, 87,000, and 37,000 square kilometers of territory has been occupied by China. China has occupied this territory in what you call Ladakh, Aksai Chin. Okay, this is Pakistan occupied Kashmir, POK, and Pakistan occupied Ladakh, both places. Now, the SCO has 10 members. SCO has 10 members, and its the Secretary General is a guy called what is his name? Nurlan. I'll use red here. I think red will work. Nurlan Yarmik Bayev. He belongs to this country, Kazakhstan. This country you see here, this is Kazakhstan, the world's largest landlocked country, and I think the overall the 9th largest country in the world. So, Nurlan Yarmik Bayev of Kazakhstan is the Secretary General of SCO. You want to know the members? Yeah, you see this. Russia, 1. Okay. 2, Belarus. 3, Kazakhstan. 4, Uzbekistan. 5, Kyrgyzstan. 6, Tajikistan. 7, Pakistan. 8, Iran. 9, India. 10, China. Okay. You see this in yellow here. Yellow is, they are all dialogue partners. Dialogue partners. Yeah. The central government will establish the International Potato Center in International Potato South Asia Regional Center in Agra. Potato is a global food, my friends, and the top 3 producers of potato would be 1, China, that's number 1. Number 2 is India. Number 3 is Ukraine. The top 3 global producers of potato. Okay. You know, potato comes from Colombia and Peru. From here it went everywhere in the world, and let me tell you, this story in the next class. The book titled The Emergency Diaries, the years that forged a leader, was released in New Delhi recently. The book is a compilation of the experiences of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during the anti-emergency movement. And as I told you a little about emergency, it was started on 25th June 1975 and ended on 21st March 1977. Okay, thousands of political leaders of all colors, ordinary people were all arrested. A little over 1,10,000 people were arrested by the government. If you as much as criticize the Prime Minister or the policies of the government, you simply could, you would simply land up in jail. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Lalu Yadav, George Fernandez, L.K. Advani, of course, and a lot of others were put in jail by Indira Gandhi's government under a law called MISA, Maintenance of Internal Security Act. Maintenance of Internal Security Act. Which city will host the 2025 Khelo India University Games in November? Jaipur, as of now, this is the idea that they will be held in Jaipur, my friends. Not much to discuss here. Which country has suspended cooperation with the IAEA? The IAEA is the International Atomic Energy Agency. Let me repeat, International Atomic Energy Agency. Okay, and this International Atomic Energy Agency is a UN body, as the question says, UN body. This is headquartered in a place called Vienna. It's headquartered in a place called Vienna, which, as you know, is the capital of Austria. It's the capital of Austria. Okay, and its Director General is Rafael Grossi. Rafael Grossi of, I think, I think it's single O. Rafael Grossi of Argentina. How many nuclear powers are there declared? Yeah, the P5, the permanent 5 members plus. See, the P5, permanent 5 members of the UN Security Council plus India, plus Pakistan, plus North Korea, plus Israel. Though Israel does not say it has nuclear weapons, it doesn't say it doesn't have nuclear weapons, it's considered a nuclear power, my friends. Okay, so there are 9 countries that have nuclear weapons, and Iran wants to be the 10th one. So, which country has become the first African country to achieve the status, the World Health Organization's gold tier status? Tier, T-I-E-R is pronounced tier. Okay, status for eliminating mother to child transmission of HIV. Now we all know what is HIV, human virus. Human immunovirus. See, this virus is transmitted between people in 3 ways, 3 major ways. One, sharing of contaminated needles. Sharing of contaminated needles between usually drug infected, let's say someone's infected. They, that needle is used by someone else, and that is how it spreads. So, sharing of contaminated needles, especially between drug users, and 2, heterosexual contact or homosexual contact. So, basically sexual contact. This could happen especially if there is no, when a person has sex with an infected person. Okay, and third one is through blood transfusion. So, the blood of an infected person is given to or transfused to what is it, a normal person. So, that is another way. Now, see what happens is when a person has HIV in the body, the immunity system becomes suppressed. It's suppressed. So, the WBC, white blood cells and all that, they begin to die. And the thing here is that the body becomes host to a lot of diseases like fever, recurring fever, diarrhea, vomiting. These become very common, and they debilitate the body, they destroy the body, they weaken the body, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a major cause of death. Okay, so it makes the immune system deficient. A full-blown stage of HIV is called AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Let me repeat, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So, this is an acquired deficiency. So, this is where things go really bad for the body. Okay, the fevers and all these things don't go anywhere. They are constant recurring things. Now, retroviral drugs are used for this. Retroviral drugs are used to, what we say, there's no cure, but symptom management could be done. Now, 3 countries have had the highest HIV rate, infection rate in the world. The highest infection rate is in Eswatini. I'll use red here. This is Eswatini. This is world number 1. You know what is the HIV infection rate? 26.8%. So 26.8% of the population is HIV positive. Crazy. Lesotho, something like, it's ranked number 2, something like 23%. No, it is 25%. I'm sorry, 25%. This is 24.7. I'll just taken the round figure. You can make it 27 here basically. Okay. Botswana, 23%. It is 22.8. I rounded it to 23. Now, it is one time one of the fastest growing, economies in the world, especially in the 80s. But as HIV spread, people became less productive and consequently the economy tanked. And you should know one more thing, that I see when these numbers are for people between the ages of 15 and 49. 15 and 49. Yeah. For the age group between 15 and 49, basically adults, these are the numbers. It's crazy, man. Think about it. Almost in every country, 1/4 of the population is HIV positive. Yeah. It kind of drains away the resources of the family, the country as such. Yeah. People need to be taken care of, my friends. Under the Viksit Bharat at 2047 vision, what is a joint initiative launched by the Ministry of Women and Child Development and the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship for adults and girls. Navya, I'll just mention what's the full form. Nurturing aspirations through vocational training for adults and girls. Let me repeat. Nurturing aspirations through vocational training, for adults and girls. So basically, they are given vocational training, young girls are given vocational training, and the idea is that after the training, this will set up small businesses. They will run their own businesses, which would mean they will be entrepreneurs and become self-dependent. Okay, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is good for the family, it's good for the woman here, and of course it brings in a lot of it may bring in income and additional income to the family, which would mean a better quality of life for the entire family. Okay, so these are all win-win things, my friends. Which Indian pharma company will start supplying the world's first malaria vaccine called RTS.S to Vaccine Alliance Gavi from 2026? And once upon a time, Gavi stood for Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization. Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization. This vaccine is also called Mosquirix. That's the name. Mosquirix. That's a technical name. This is a popular name. It's made by a company called GlaxoSmithKline. GSK. It's a British company. Okay. So in India, it will be more or less procured by Bharat Biotech, whose chairperson is Dr. Krishna Ella. Dr. Krishna Ella. Serum Institute, Adar Poonawalla, the world's largest vaccine producer. Adar Poonawalla. To build export-led growth for Viksit Bharat, Exim Bank hosted a trade conclave 2025. Exim Bank is Export-Import Bank of India, and it's led by Harsha Bangari. Harsha Bangari, she is the managing director. Harsha Bangari. We know about NABARD, Manoj Mittal runs SIDBI. Manoj Mittal. Okay, Manoj Mittal. Coming to ICICI Bank, Sandeep Bakshi. And IDBI Bank, Rakesh Sharma. Rakesh Sharma. Okay, these are these things, my friends. Zhao Jiai has been elected as the new president of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB. This is headquartered in Beijing. Okay. So, she succeeds Jin Likan. Jin Likan. Jin Jin Likan. Again, a Chinese guy. World Bank, you all know, the chairperson is Ajay Banga. Ajay Banga. Ajay Pal Singh Banga. New Development Bank, Dilma. Dilma Rousseff. Dilma Rousseff of what is it? Brazil. She's the ex-president of Brazil. Yeah. Asian Development Bank, Masato Kanda. Masato Kanda. Masato Kanda. And International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva. Kristalina Georgieva. Yeah. Dilma from Brazil. Masato from Japan. Kristalina Georgieva from Bulgaria. And of course, Ajay Pal Singh Banga from United States, US. Okay. Let me clear this, ladies and gentlemen. Which international bank has approved a $426 million program to improve water security for more than 4 million residents in India's tech capital, Bengaluru? Who's given the money? The World Bank is giving the money. Yeah. We have heard of this. I think, only one we need to look at. European Central Bank is headed by Christine Lagarde. Christine Lagarde. She is the president of the European Central Bank. She is a former minister of France and also the former MD CEO of International Monetary Fund. Christine Lagarde. Let me clear this. That's all, my friends. Thank you for being here. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious.